All right, welcome back, connected to the Webb watchers. So this is the second part of my interview with Ryan at the Del Gallo Group because there was so much information in the first one that I couldn't keep it all into one. So that was about 40 minutes long on part one. This here is part two. I hope you enjoy, and there is so much information. If you're thinking about starting a business, go watch part one, take some notes, and come back and enjoy part two. Thanks. Appreciate it. Have some fun. All right, so we've had a treasure trove of conversations already in the last 20 minutes about all the opportunities. Let's talk about the realism that your client pull through is not 100%.
Yeah.
Not everybody that has a vision, a great plan, works with you and has a productive pathway forward, feasible, viable, reasonable, all the keywords, prior experience, these badass things that I hope Errol, you over writing down, please. And they still get denied.
Yeah.
What happens? Talk to me about that.
I would say the most common reason as to why someone is getting denied is they're going to the wrong place. Okay. Not every lender is an SBA preferred lender.
Okay.
So I'm not going to call out banks here because I work with the majority of them.
Okay.
But there are some that are not SBA preferred. So what would
Preferred?
happen? Yes. So what would happen is if you were to go into one of these local lenders and you say, hey, I have a business plan, I have a great idea, I have down payment money, they are going to tell you no because you don't have 2 years of experience. So what they're looking for is 2 years of tax returns with year-over-year growth, right? They're not going to fund you as a pre-venture / early startup business. That's where you need to work with someone like myself at the Del Gallo Group that knows who these SBA preferred lenders are in the community. Right? We can get you connected to their lending teams. We can get you connected with SBA loan brokers, and we'll help you prepare your loan documentation, your business plan, etc. So now you're with the right lender.
Wow.
So the way that this works is the SBA will guarantee that loan for the bank that they partner with. So therefore, if you are to default, the SBA covers the bank's interest, right? Mitigating their risk. Okay. And now because of that, the bank's more likely to do the deal. But there's only certain lenders that have that qualification to do so. And that's where my knowledge of working within these various programs and systems for so long, I know who these people are. I know what they're looking for. And that's where people tend to come to us. And like, hey, Ryan, we know you do this. We need to know where to go. And that's where the group of the Del Gallo Group really comes into play. We have connections with the bankers, the accountants, the insurance agents, and the lawyers.
Yeah.
And the three things that I look for from any of my resource partners is one, are you ethical? Are you reliable? And you are affordable? I'm a small business owner myself outside of the consulting firm. I'm in the food and beverage industry. I've had retail shops. We have multiple employees throughout the state of Maryland. We've also opened up some various businesses down in Virginia and Florida. So I know what it takes as an entrepreneur and how to get this going. And I know that many entrepreneurs are taken advantage of from the very beginning.
Sadly.
When it comes to the cost and whatnot being associated here. So I want to throw in a little plug in for myself.
Oh, by all means.
Is that when you invest in the Del Gallo Group to help you form your business, write your business plan, do your projections, loan packaging, etc., that is counted as an investment in professional services. So therefore, we could send a receipt to the underwriting team and they deduct what you invested with us off of your down payment amount because it shows that you made an investment into your business. But our goal was to take that investment and help you access more capital.
That's huge. So if my 10% of my business concept that I'm asking a SBA lender to is 20 grand and your services are X, they will subtract X from the 20.
Correct.
I mean, that's huge. I've got multiple businesses and I'm nobody special, but and I've seen a lot of ins and outs, pluses and minuses. Never heard of that before.
Yes.
I thought it was straight up cash in the bank, 10%.
So let's give it as an example, right? Let's say you're going after $250,000 to open up a retail store. So therefore, your 10% equity injection is $25K.
Okay.
Let's say you spend $200 on your LLC. That gets subtracted off, right? If you know who you're talking to and how to structure this, that's an investment in your business.
That's huge.
You're putting skin in the game. That comes off. Let's say you're paying $40 for QuickBooks. That can come off with that receipt.
Per month?
Right. So typically upfront for as you're applying for the loan.
Got
so
it.
whatever that time frame may be.
Got it.
But let's just throw out a random number here. And let's say our fee is $3,000.
Okay.
To help you get started, to write your plan, your projections. But again, that's variable based on the situation and the
Yeah,
client.
no one's getting a quote right now.
Right. We're just kind of throwing out a number here. Right. So again, if you need $25,000 down, you invest $3,000 with us, we submit that receipt. you now only need $22,000 out of pocket. So what's going to happen is you would write a check to the lender from your business account, preferably, of $22,000. They would use the rest of that money to pay for closing, which goes in as part of your equity injection, right? Because that's your skin in the game.
Yeah.
Whatever is left over, if there's anything left over, could be counted as working capital, right? So that's money that you would still have left over to continue to invest in the business. So again, invest in those professional services. Even if it's not with us, find somebody like us that can help you get started. Just make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right team, right? As with anything in life, it's harder if we go at it alone, but we're always going to go farther with a team. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. That's what I have done, and we've been able to help many clients over the years. So we're excited to help you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost like it's a down payment to the down payment.
Kind
Not
of,
to really oversimplify it, but just using your example, not a quote.
Yeah.
The $3,000 is money you have to spend anyway because of your equity injection.
Exactly. They want skin in the game.
And why not take a portion of that, not just straight up, hi, blah 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 bank. I was going to name a bank, but here's 20,000 minus 3 because I have a consultant behind it. I mean the success rate of your concept has got to go up with a consultant, whether it's you, another firm. It's got to go up.
Yes.
And what a cool idea that I just never knew about. I mean, and I hope that people watching today are learning something.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to people, surround yourself with the right people, and again, you will go further.
All right, so you talked about team, you talked about having the support, you talked about all kinds of stuff today that I couldn't begin to go over. I'm going to probably be watching us 100 times myself, taking down notes, but you touched on something earlier that I want to kind of double back on because when you and I were chatting before, it really gave me a really cool feeling about. And I know we both have the same opinion about how much we appreciate the veterans that serve this country and what they do for us, and the fact that we are able to have this conversation because someone defended our freedom to do so somewhere across the world. So I know you do some special things for veterans, and I think you should take your time. I don't care how long it takes, but explain to me what you're doing for veterans and why you saw a need for this. And I know where you're going to go from this from when we chatted, but I think the audience needs to hear this.
Yeah, so I love supporting our veteran community, and veterans make excellent entrepreneurs, right? Team focused, mission driven, problem solver, resilient. The characteristics and traits just continue
But
to
under
go
pressure.
right?
Yeah.
And also, many veterans that I work with want to explore government contracting, right? They have the experience of doing business with the federal government already through a W-2 role with their time in the service.
Yep.
Right. So now they're like, okay, I have a specialty now. I understand cybersecurity. I know lasers. I know aerospace, right? Whatever it may be.
Their MOS was, right.
Exactly, right? They already have the past performance. They have the experience. Let's start a business around that. And if you go for an SBA loan as a veteran, they waive the upfront guarantee fee, which is about 1% to 3% of the loan value.
Wow.
Right. So there's a perk right there that's going to save you some money upfront out
Which
of
they
pocket.
deserve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you are, the company has to be 51% veteran owned in order to qualify for those perks.
50% veteran owned.
51%.
So an individual is 100, but if you have a partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
right?
got
so
it.
the company has to show it's 51% veteran owned and controlled.
Okay.
And if that, you can then qualify for the VOSB certification, which is veteran owned small business. And if you have at least a 1% disability rating with the VA, you can then qualify for SDVOSB, which is service disabled veteran owned small business.
So all these acronyms. So if you know anybody in the military, acronyms are their way of life. So you can rewind this, and we're going to keep going forward. But I mean, this is like second nature to Ryan. He's just like talking like it's Tuesday afternoon.
Right, there's so many certifications that are out there, even beyond veterans, but for women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses.
Yeah.
There's certifications for all of them to help give you a leg up as you're getting started in your business. But again, the problem is many people don't know how to navigate this system.
Yeah.
So like when we first started out, my first core competency is navigation of the SBA ecosystem. What opportunities? Exactly. Let's map it out. What do you qualify for? What can we take advantage of?
Right.
And really just being able to tap into those resources. Another big aspect of this that does fall quite a bit in line with the veteran community that I work with is what we call technology transfer. The United States government, the Department of Defense, has a plethora of IP available, intellectual property, various technologies, defensive technologies, where the concept is there, but they need to partner with the right individual to commercialize it.
Shut up. I didn't even know that.
You have the ability to become a partner with the Department of Defense, with the government, to take this patent idea, and now you have a right to commercialize it, and then you could
Apply it.
potentially sell it back to the government,
Hmm.
right? We have to prove the feasibility, get the actual product in
They
hand.
need R&D,
Exactly.
and that's the partner that would go.
And there's funding resources for that. There are organizational resources for that we can help you tap into to prepare you for it. Right. So
Wow.
again, there are I don't like using the word limitless opportunities, but there's a whole hell of a lot of opportunities that are out
Countless.
there, right?
Might be the way,
right?
yeah.
That many people just don't realize exist.
Yeah.
And again, if you're just a traditional, John Smith in the community, and you're looking to start a business, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's nearly impossible to identify all these things, right? So again, align yourself with the right people, talk to the right people, figure out what opportunities are out there.
So let's talk about the Gallo Group as a concept that would be available to the local community. So I would imagine that you experience customers at all levels of their process,
Oh, yeah.
from straight up, I had an idea last night, Ryan, can you talk to me about it, to I've already got this massive plan and boom, pile of papers. Where can I get the money from, right? So talk to me about who a great customer is for the Gallo Group.
Mhm.
And when, we're going to repeat, we've already said before,
Yeah.
when might be a good time to communicate with you and your team about if there's a relationship that can be made there?
Yeah. So I work with what I call a pre-venture, startup, and growth stage businesses.
Okay.
Pre-venture means you don't have a legal entity. You haven't sold anything. You don't have the ability to sell
It's just
anything.
up here at this point.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
It's just in your head. You have a concept.
Okay.
Ideally, I would love to work with you from that phase. While many people that are in a similar space as to what I'm in prefer to work with you when you're rolling in some money, because now they can charge more. Right. Again, I don't like taking advantage of entrepreneurs. I have worked with too many to know exactly what it is that you need, and spending money unnecessarily is what can make people tank before they ever get started.
And those guys that do that, they're not serving the community to the people that need help. They
Yeah.
want to talk to people who have already made it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome that
I'm
you're there in
putting
that
the
space.
entrepreneur first. I want to be an entrepreneur advocate.
Mhm.
So we take that into consideration. Startup means you have under 2 years in business.
Okay.
And then growth stage is 2+ years, and you're looking to expand.
Got
I
it.
can work with people in all segment, but again, pre-venture is my favorite because I want to help you structure this correctly from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. But we also have dozens of clients that come to us when they're ready to grow. They want an expansion loan. Like, hey, Ryan, we've grown independently in one location, but we have a vision to open up 3 more stores. We need to buy a couple of trucks. We have some payroll that we have to grow into. How do I navigate this? How do I structure it? How do I do it? We're really busy. Can you help us take it on? Right. And that's really what we do here.
That's huge.
And just to give you like another example too, but acquiring businesses. I had a phone call this morning. There's a business that popped up there for sale in Harford County. We have a client that wants to buy it. We can help you get the funding to do that. We had a woman, and her husband's a veteran, and she had worked for a business for many years locally, and the owner was getting ready to retire. So she's going from employee to ownership. We did her business plan. We helped her with her corporation. We did her financial projections. We got them the funding. They closed on it a couple of weeks ago. They're now building out the new location to really bring new vibrance and whatnot and put her twist on it. And they should be opening up here in a couple of weeks. So again, whether if you're looking for a licensing deal to acquire a business, maybe you're preparing to sell a business plan is going to be required by the buyer. So if you're a seller, what's an extra perk that you could give? Let's have a business plan written based on what we're doing today, and then allow that new entrepreneur to maybe add a little bit to it and put their own twist on it for the growth plan, right? That's going to save them weeks of preparing this document if they intend to take it on themselves, right? So again, we can help the people that are preparing to sell create that document so now they can hand it over to the potential buyer.
Dude, so I'm having trouble thinking about any reasonable scenario why they shouldn't be contacting you or someone like you.
And it's just through the years of experience, right? Again, I've worked with any style of person that you can imagine, different races, genders, creeds, political affiliations. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm there to support. Like I said, my end goal is to build a better community for my wife and kids. And what I know is small business. I know entrepreneurship. And if I can give back and help these people get started, creating a better community for all of us.
That's
right?
great, man.
The small business is the backbone of where we're at.
All right, 2 questions. One's funny, one's not.
Yeah.
Just so we're gonna laugh about
Let's
it,
get
okay?
to it.
Who the hell would not be your client? Now, no layup on this one, because if you don't have any idea or thoughts of starting a business, you would never need to call my friend sitting over here. But in the I want to start a business phase, who should not call you?
Right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the majority of people need capital. And if you're in a position where you're not going to qualify for capital, which we do free 30-minute discovery calls.
Okay.
Right? So we'll go out to 30 minutes.
That's huge.
Talk to you for free and essentially kind of pre-vet you of, do you have the capacity to pull this off?
Yeah.
And there's been many people that are like, Ryan, hey, thank you for giving us this call. We realized that we're not ready yet. And I'm like, exactly.
Which
right?
is healthy.
That's why I'm offering this, because
Yeah.
I don't want to take money from you if you're not going to grow.
Love
I
that.
want you to get a return on my investment, so, or on your investment in me. So again, maybe if they're not employed right now, maybe if they do have poor credit, so below that 680. Again, I'm not saying for you not to reach out to us. Maybe we'll work with you in the future.
Yeah.
But there's some steps that you need to take personally to be ready to go into your own small business. So we don't discriminate based on industry, right? We don't discriminate in general, but there are some people
Great.
that are more qualified and ready to start their business than others. And we can kind of help you work through that process if you have questions.
That's a fair answer, because not everybody is a potential customer.
Yeah,
and
not
it's okay.
everyone's ready.
And
It's
they
not
need
cut
to know
out for
that when
everyone.
they call.
Right. Some people watch the show Shark Tank, right? We've all heard of it.
Yeah.
And they think they can start a business tomorrow. But
Yeah.
in reality, they may be more prone to being an employee than to be a boss.
Yeah.
And that is okay. And I would rather work with you through the consulting side of this for you to have that realization instead of you taking out a loan and then failing, right? Because not only is that's not going to be good for you, but it's also not a good look for us, right? I want people to judge us based on, businesses that we work with that are doing well in the community, right? So I don't want to take on a potential loss either. And we'll work together and see where you fit into this mix.
I'm an ever optimist, so I feel like if I were to come to you with an idea and it failed one of your feasibility or viability tests, it doesn't mean you're telling me to pound sand.
Not
It
at all.
means in that iteration of my idea, there's some opportunity still.
Yeah.
And if I tweak that, take one page off, cross it out, and come back, it doesn't mean I couldn't have something viable the next time I come to you.
Exactly. And credit holds a lot of people back. Like
Okay.
I mentioned earlier, prices are up.
Yeah.
Right? People are putting more money on their credit cards. And if you go over 20 to 30% of your usage, depending on who you talk to, that's going to harm your credit. Right? So maybe you're at a 620. That puts you in the category of what they call high risk in the lending industry.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder to find a lender that you'll qualify for. And
I can vouch for that.
Right?
Even on the home lending side.
Exactly, right? And if you need access to capital, then we're not ready yet to start your plan.
Yeah.
But that's where I know some nonprofits that are out there that specialize in credit repair. And they can assist you for free.
That's huge.
And I'll make that connection for no cost. Why not? If I can better you, then maybe you'll be a client in the future.
That's fantastic. Okay, super light to end the call, because this is just amazing, man. I'm so blessed you took time out of your day.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate being here.
So I believe, total nerd statement, but I'm going to say it anyway, that everybody has a superpower. Some of them haven't had their origin story movie yet. Okay. I found mine out a long time ago. I have 2 superpowers. I'm blessed. My first one is that I can make people laugh no matter what. Pretty much everybody, I can make you laugh. I make you feel comfortable. And the second one is my superpower is that we can talk for 5 minutes and you can feel like you've known me for 20 years. That's not an act or a fake or deception.
I'll attest to
It's
that.
just who I am. Hey, but what is your superpower, sir?
Oh, man. That's a question I have never, ever
Check
been
it off the
asked.
box. I finally got
man.
one. My second interview, I got one. What do you think, man?
I would say
Cheesy is okay, by the way.
my superpower as to how it relates to talking to people that are complete strangers, because that's what I do every single day.
Yeah.
Is by the end of that phone call, we can typically feel like friends. Right?
That's huge,
So,
man.
like I said in the beginning, kind of bringing this full circle, I'm not the guy that wants to be in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Right? The entrepreneur that I work with is in jeans and a hoodie. Right? And I relate to that person.
Yeah, the average businessman.
That's who I
Right.
am. Right? Let's connect. Let's have fun on the call. Let's BS a little bit, right? And just talk about life in general. So we build that relationship. We're building community here. So I would say one of my superpowers is meeting a complete stranger, but feeling like friends at the end of 30 minutes and knowing that I'm there to support them, even if they're not coming on as a client of our firm. I just want to see them succeed, and I genuinely mean that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad I threw you a curveball. I think you hit that curveball out of the park.
It had me thinking a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't have.
Communication skills are lacking in today's society.
Yeah, and I think part of that, which is a whole nother session, would be about social media and the lack of intimacy in relationships. Even business relationships can be a lot of intimacy, and I prefer that, where I'm looking in your eyes, shaking your hand. As a matter of fact, that's one of the single driving reasons that I worked for a company for 17 years and changed my career path in December of 23 because I didn't have that intimacy and I needed it.
Yeah.
And in my heart, I knew that's what my superpower was. You couldn't do it on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming here. Now, I'm going to put all of your information into the description of this podcast episode.
Okay.
But tell us your phone number, where your business is located, and the easiest way to get a hold of you if something on here resonated with an audience member and they want to get in contact with you.
So the best way to get a hold of me is going to be via email.
Awesome.
Which is Ryan@thedelgallogroup.com. So THE and then Del Gallo, Delta, Echo, Lima, Golf, Alpha, Lima, Oscar, group.com. Reach out to me so that way we can set an appointment. I'm on and off of phone calls all day, every day, so it's typically hard for me to answer the phone if you do call. But if you email me, I will get back as soon as possible. You can also check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, where we share educational videos, different loan programs that are coming out, grant opportunities, etc.
Awesome.
So we want to be just a local business hub and resource for you. And then you can also check us out online at thedelgallogroup.com.
So a lot of the veterans are going to appreciate your alphanumerics on there because you sound like a government person and you've had that. So the reason I started this podcast is I just wanted to connect people and just get people in a space where they feel like everybody has a value. And I cannot imagine in the business world anybody that wouldn't see value in at least having you as a relationship, whether it's a friend like your power or a connection. So thank you so much for coming here. I'm so excited that we had a chance to meet, and I can't wait to tell people that I have a guy that knows what the do's and don'ts are, because so many Americans do. It's not a secret how important small business is to the way our country works.
Yeah.
And it's so American to get involved. You can see, I know I like a little bit about our country around my America room. It's so American to get involved in small business ownership at the ground level and just point people in the right path. Their business, their vision, but you help them walk on the right path. So I appreciate what you're doing in Harford County and the surrounding counties. And I can't wait to send people your way, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, the way I always work it is you are now connected to the Webb. 2 B's. So I appreciate you coming, man. So everybody watching, this was a absolute treasure trove of information. That's the 3rd time I've said this in this interview, but I have to keep saying it to get my point across. So check Ryan's information out. I'll put his credentials there, website, stuff like that. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate you being connected to the Webb and the World Wide Web of Lending. Appreciates you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.